Hi there. Welcome to the Our City Forest Community Nursery and Training Center. My name is Sam. I am the nursery manager here. We have about 2 acres of land, a number of trees, and a number of shrubs. We were established actually in 2011 due to a number of grants and a whole bunch of volunteer labor to get this place going. And we have a number of programs that we do here at the nursery. And now I'd love to take you on a nursery tour. This is our kiosk. Everything pretty much starts here. So this is like our welcome area for both volunteers and for community members that come in for our open hours. So our AmeriCorps members, they're here to welcome anyone. They sign in our volunteers and get them started for the volunteer day. And then they're also here to help people when they come in for trees or to purchase shrubs. We have our open hours every Thursday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And we have volunteer days on those same days as well. We do a number of volunteer events all throughout the week to complete projects for the nursery, to do transplanting for our shrubs and trees, and otherwise help the AmeriCorps members with the tasks they need to get done. And that brings me to our native garden. So everything from here all the way over to this cutoff area, this is a native California garden. So the purpose of this is a couple things. First off, we want to create native ecology for this area. You know, we're right underneath the airport, right next to the airport, under the flight path. There isn't a lot of ecology around. It's a pretty industrial area, so it's nice to have this native ecology for our native pollinators and other pollinators as well. And then we're also able to use this as a demonstration garden. So all of our baby shrubs that we sell to the public and distribute out to the public, people can come here and see what they're going to look like when they're fully grown, or what flowers do they have, how big do they get. It's a demonstration garden for people to see their mature plants. And then finally, we're actually taking cuttings from all of these plants. So we're propagating and then turning them into all of the shrubs that you see under our sale area here. So we're actually able to distribute a number of plants just from the parent plants in our gardens. And then all of these plants are available for sale or donation. We have both 1 gallons and 5 gallons. This section is California native species, as well as the second section here, also native species, including grasses and trees. The farther back sections, those are drought-tolerant plants, so ones that aren't necessarily California natives, but that will do well in this climate. And we're propagating all of these in-house or growing them from seed. This brings me to our greenhouse. So this is our greenhouse. It's pretty empty right now because it's the summer, but ultimately this is full in the cooler months. And the goal is to propagate things in order to grow them and sell them to the community. So they start as seeds or as cuttings. We'll let them root out over a certain amount of time. In the greenhouse, they're protected from all the elements. They are kept at a nice temperature that they enjoy, and they're watered about 4 times a day. So they get all the care that they need in this greenhouse. And then once we start to see some roots, we'll transplant them over here. So this is our shady transplant area for the team. Once they're transplanted, we'll move them into our shade house. So our shade house here, this is just the next step. The plants are, protected so much in the greenhouse. Here, they're just protected from the sun. So we start to get them acclimated to the outdoor environment they're going to spend their lives in. They will continue to root out into their new pots, which are much bigger than the trays or the smaller containers that they start in the greenhouse. And they'll hang out here. We'll give them manual water about once or twice a day. We're just getting them acclimated to less water and more outdoor elements. Once they are rooted out in the shade house, then we can move them to the sunny new production area in the back. So all of these plants are essentially ready to go in the ground. We have a number of plants that our lawn conversion team has dibs on to take out to their lawn conversion projects. And then all of these other plants we will eventually move to our sale area under the shade cloth there, where they will be distributed out to the public. So we're watering these plants about once a day, sometimes twice a day in the hot summer. It takes a while, and it's a main activity on the nursery team. But as you can see, we have a number of different plants. We have shrubs, we have grasses, we have some trees that we're starting. And we're starting to section off this area into water needs and also plant type. Here we have all of our material that we reuse, so we recycle all of the pots that we need to use, stakes, all of that, and you can see a number of pots right here. We do have to sanitize them before we actually use them. So it's very important that we store them and then scrub and sanitize them with specific chemicals that will clean them in order to use them, and we're not spreading any pests or diseases amongst our plants as we transplant over time. We do reuse everything. And that brings me to our trees. So we just talked about shrubs, but we do have a number of trees on site at the nursery. We are a community forestry nonprofit, so trees are our main focus. We have 2 banks of trees. So this one over here, these trees are not ready to go in the ground yet. They're still in production. We get a gigantic order of about 1,000 to 1,500 trees that come bare root with no soil around their roots each spring. And then we spend a couple weeks with volunteers transplanting them all, putting them into containers, making soil, staking them, and then they'll sit here for a number of months until they're rooted out and ready to go in the ground. So these are all production trees, whereas these trees on my right are ready to go into the ground. So we plant these with our community planting team at schools, in parks, along roadways for the cities that we have partnerships with. And we also distribute them to the public during our nursery open hours. So all of these trees are ready to go in the ground. They have fully rooted out, and eventually the production trees will move over when they're ready as well. So you can follow me down one of the paths here. And we can talk a little bit about irrigation. So whereas our greenhouse shrubs are getting manually irrigated or automatically irrigated, and then we manually irrigate all of our production shrubs, all of our production trees are actually on automatic irrigation. So we use recycled water with our trees, and we use fresh water with our shrubs. The recycled water has different contents of minerals and things like that, but ultimately we're using less water over time if we're able to use reclaimed water. So all of our trees get this spot spit emitter, which fans the water out over the top of the tree, and then it percolates down into the soil. And then that helps to promote root development in the pot over time. So these trees are watered twice a day, from anywhere from 2 minutes to about 6 minutes, depending on the season and the temperature outside. But I want to point out our 2 beehives in the back corner there. So we have these 2 hives. They are completely separate colonies, so they have 2 different queens. And we do harvest the honey from both of these hives about yearly. So we're planning a honey harvest in just a couple weeks, and we sell that honey to the public as well. Okay, something new we started this past year after our bare root event, where we have a whole trench for all of our bare root trees to sit for a couple weeks. This area becomes super weeded out by nightshade and other invasive weeds. So we've actually turned it into an edible garden and flower garden this year. We have tomatoes, we have corn, we have watermelon, tons of squash, obviously the sunflowers, and we're just starting to see a harvest of a number of things. But hopefully in future years, we'll be able to distribute that out to the community as well. And our last stop is our transplant area. So we're doing all of our tree transplanting in this area, including our Bare Roots event. We have a number of soil materials along the back fence that we use in different recipes to make specific soil mixes that will do well for both our shrubs and our trees. We do things with the whole team out here, and then have a whole workflow to stake the trees and then move them into the rows. We're also sanitizing a number of containers over here. And of course we have our mulch for our volunteers, for our lawn conversion projects, and for our tree planting projects as well. All right, we'd love to see you soon here at the Our City Forest Community Nursery and Training Center. You can find us on our Instagram at Our City Forest or on our website, and you can check the description below